We're going to make something totally different than normal. We're going to make sweet and sour fish today. It only takes about 5 minutes longer than frying fish. All you got to do is make a sweet and sour sauce and pour it over the top. So sweet and sour speckled trout. Going to be delicious. So the ingredients are going to be some nice pretty speckled trout fillets. For the sweet and sour sauce, we got onion, bell pepper, pineapple chunks, a little bit of cornstarch, sugar, and white vinegar and ketchup. Then to fry the fish, we're going to use a cup of flour, a half a cup of cornstarch, and a cup of water to make the batter. So, all right, one of the first things I'll do is I'll make my batter for my fish. So a cup of all-purpose flour, half a cup of cornstarch, and put a little bit of salt, a little bit of ground black pepper. We'll mix all this together real quick. Then I'll add 1 cup of water. So we're going to mix this to a real loose batter. In the meantime, I already have my cooking oil heating up. I want my batter a little thinner. I'll give it 1 more splash of water. So you want your batter nice and thin. Next thing I want to do is get my speck fillets ready. So what I'll do with them is I'll cut them into cube-sized pieces. They'll fry quick and even. Alright, I got all my fish cubed up. I'll give it a little light dusting of salt. Tiny bit of black pepper. We take and drop our fish right in the batter and then stir it all to get it all thoroughly coated and mixed. Alright, the next thing we'll do is prep our vegetables. So what I'm going to do is core the bell pepper and take all the white pith out. And I'm going to leave this in pretty good sized chunks. Half-inch to 3/4-inch chunks on the bell peppers. And we'll take an onion. What we'll do with the onion is I'll take some of the center out of it. So I can get all my pieces nice and uniform sized. I'll take and break my onions up inside the peppers. Alright, my cooking oil's up to temp. I'm going to start putting this fish in batches. And we'll let these get to a nice pretty golden brown color. The fish is starting to brown up nicely. I'm going to drain it over a wire rack over paper towels because I want the fish to stay crispy. And then once I take it out, I'll hit it with just a hair of salt while it's hot. And then we'll just keep doing this till we go through all the fish. This will probably take about 4 or 5 batches. This type of batter likes to stick together a little, so once it's fried for a minute, I'll free it up from the bottom and kind of separate all the pieces apart. I'm going to take my last batch of fish out. Salt them up. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off my grease. And since I don't have a wok to stir fry the sauce in, I'm going to flash fry these vegetables. About 1 minute. That's all it's going to take, just a few seconds. That just takes the rawness out of them. See, it just takes a little bit of the raw vegetable out of them. And we'll do the same thing. We'll put them on this paper towel lined draining rack. All right, to make our sauce, we'll take a saucepan. We'll go to a medium-low heat. We'll take a half a cup of water, half a cup of sugar, quarter cup of white vinegar. That's what makes it sour. 2 tablespoons of ketchup. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a boil and boil it about 2 minutes. Now the ketchup will kind of stay in globs, but it'll break once it comes to a boil, and it doesn't matter if it's 100% dissolved. So while we got this coming to a boil, we'll take 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and mix it with 1 tablespoon of water, and that'll be our thickening agent for our sauce. And once this comes to a boil, we'll boil it about 2 minutes at a good boil. We'll go with just a pinch of salt. Highlight the flavors. Now we've had a good roll and boil about 2 minutes. We'll take our cornstarch thickener. And you got to let this come back to a slight boil in order for it to thicken. You see, it's already getting thick. So it's already getting a nice thick consistency. I'll go a little thicker. I'm dripping it all over the stove. Okay, once we got that to the thickness we want, coming to a good boil, that's a pretty sauce there. I'm going to go ahead and stir in my peppers, onions, and pineapple chunks. And let all that heat through. All right, so we'll plate up some fish, and then we'll take our sweet and sour sauce. Pineapple chunks, onions, green peppers. And then just for a little garnish, some green onions. So it's that simple, sweet and sour fish, and this is sweet and sour speckled trout. You can see it still maintains a crunch. So I like to get this dish in the local Chinese restaurants, but it's probably made with tilapia or zwai or God knows what kind of fish. So you homemade it with the speckled trout, it doesn't get much better than this. Sweet and sour speckled trout. Till the next video, get out there and go fishing. Stays crunchy, boy, that's good.